There it is. It's staring us right in the face. The U.S. national debt. One thing is for sure, we can bet on death, taxes, and the national debt continuing to increase at an alarming rate every single day, every single hour, every single minute, and every single second. But what you are seeing here is the calculation of these dollars accumulating in our national debt based off of current money or old money. But what about new money? We're going to compare those two because that's the message that the debt clock people are sending us in their latest secret. So let's explore. Indeed, in order to see this latest message, for the very first time in the history of them providing these secret messages since October of 2023, this one takes the greatest amount of space on the debt clock screen, which means we have to zoom way out in order to really see this thing. Yes, indeed, we're going to do that right now to take a look at this from an overall perspective, and then we're going to navigate and zoom in a little bit here as well. So let's open up the secret message. There it is in all of its glory. It is the old money versus the new money. And you think about it, what is the old money? Well, it's the current money, but it's an old base off of old ideas that they're trying to perpetuate and propagate and progressively send ourselves the path of this even further down the road. So it's kind of interesting to see that. By the way, we can see the signature Thomas X there. Again, we'll get to that in a moment. But it's perpetual debt creation compared to new money, which is asset-based wealth creation. What is this new money? When will it come? I think there's going to be an intermediary between these two, and that's the central bank digital currencies. They are not going to give up the ghost anytime soon, and they are very powerful. That's the administrative state, which really does extend into the banking system and the cartels and the Federal Reserve and the powers that be there. However, they are so defined. The system itself feeds off of each other. So when you have the Federal Reserve and all the entities that tied to it and the politicians that work with it, and that's a very powerful force. So let's zoom in and take a look at this, a closer scale for the old money, and see what we've got here. Perpetual debt creation, we can see here, it's got the seal of the Federal Reserve System, old money, and current money. It is certainly current, but look at how the dollar is being shaped out. 100 IOUs, debt-based system here. Not federal note when there's no reserves, even though it is a Federal Reserve note. That's exactly right in that saying there. It is United States federal usury system, and seed based off of this fraction reserve banking system. We can see there that it is we see here the president here, Woodrow Wilson, who was president, signed into law that bill, and he had regrets about it since then. But yes, indeed, there we go. Woodrow Wilson. Behind him are the nations, all the nations of the world, representing his idea of the League of Nations, which he proposed, which ended up failing, but his vision was ultimately met with the United Nations, and we become and moving to this globalist empire, which is exactly what the World Economic Forum is all about as well, too. And it says here that it's legal plunder. Indeed it is, because every time we see inflation of the dollar, at a rate of 3.4% year over year as I record this video, that is plunder. It's plunder against you and me and the value that we work so hard for, because wages are not keeping up with inflation, which means that we are being robbed, and that's exactly what that means. The United Hackett Racketeers, indeed, it is like a racket. It is a Ponzi scheme for sure. You can see on this side, it has the International Money Changers. That is a play, sort of a parody of the International Monetary Fund as well, too. And by the way, they hold a lot of gold as well, believe it or not, for sure. But nonetheless, and that's exactly what that note represents there with Woodrow Wilson on the front. So if we look down below, we can see that the currency is deflating, the $100 bill, and we have $100 in a bond in debt. The Federal Reserve, by the way, is buying a lot of those bonds. It's a wealth transfer which goes up to the 1%. And the interest is 3% to 20% that are unfunded and unpayable to be gone. Well, the national debt itself, there's no way they can pay it back unless they reset it. And I think that's what's going to happen. And they're not showing this here. And maybe they're not doing that on purpose because ultimately it's going to lead to this. It's going to have to. New money based off of assets. And that actually is what creates wealth. Wealth creation. As you can see here, the USA Department of the Treasury, founded 1776, based off the ideals from which the country was founded. And we are recognized that seal. We've seen that before with the American Liberty 2023 American Liberty Reverse with a perched eagle there, a young eagle there perched. And we have a nice blown up size of the 100 debt-free currency note that we see here. The U.S. Treasury certificate is what it is from the United States of America with John F. Kennedy there on that bill. And we can see there that behind him, as we've mentioned in prior Debt Clock Secret videos, is the background of an American gold eagle, which means that very well could be gold-backed. Debt-free currency payable to the bearer on demand. You can see that it is the heart of America and founded upon the ideals of Christianity, Christ there with the ichthus symbol there. And we also have the silver Kennedy half dollar there, which maybe implies perhaps a bimetallic standard that we once had. The decorative elements around them we can see. We can see there's these slices there, but some of them look to be, they could be, I don't know, ones and zeros, and maybe perhaps even digital representations there of that we could still use technology as long as there's checks and balances involved with it. I don't know. But this system is on a scale. And we've seen this before too, balancing out all the different things, gold, silver, copper, and then we have energy sources here, fossil fuels, perhaps there, oil, and other forms of energy, natural gas. And again, no one's ever really been able to explain this. Maybe perhaps Wall Street and the exchanges could be based off of this system, perhaps, where it could be a healthy stock market. But we have commodities, real estate, we have labor and mining, and we have essentially here renewables and energy that perhaps maybe even Tesla with the lightning and the like, energy that's free energy that we could take advantage of. All these different things. Fascinating indeed, but that is the asset-based wealth creation. We can see which one is definitely more applicable and which one is better. If again, take a look and zoom out, we can see these. One is green, one is gold. That tells you everything you need to know. Green for envy, and that's indeed they do to take away from this green. Gold is prestige, it's wealth. It is indeed something that is much more desirable. And eventually, I think the debt clock people are probably saying this is where we've got to go if we're going to survive as a country, to get the new money into the system. Will it be Nasera Gassera? Not anytime soon. They are going to power brokers do not want to lose their grip. They do not want to lose their grip at all. So they're going to continue for sure. So nonetheless, that is a stark difference between the two different currencies. Now, folks, I do videos every time that the debt clock people put these messages out. I'm the only channel that's been doing this consistently, and I have sign up to thank user who let me know they were doing these originally in October. I've been able to catch up with all the old messages. So if you enjoy content like this, these don't get nearly as many views, but I hope you will consider sharing it on Twitter and other places. So, and I hope you will consider pressing that thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel if you enjoy these videos. Thomas Sex is the signature here. This is the first time we've seen that signature on the negative side. So I'm not really sure exactly what this could mean. Could this be the warning that was given to us, from the days of old with the pamphlets, Thomas Paine? And what does the X mean? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. So I hope you found this video informative. insightful and educational with part of the Debt Clock series secrets. And I want to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching and to encourage you to please rate this video, share it, comment, and subscribe.